All right, we're going to do a install video of the Crown Big Brake Kit for the Jeep Wranglers. This would be for the JK or the JKU. One thing I want to mention is before you even start this, make sure you've bled brakes before or have a really good understanding on how to do so. This Crown Big Brake Kit comes with a new caliper. It's a dual piston caliper setup, the new one. So you're going to have to bleed the brake system to to get all the air out of the lines and everything else. So you have to be really careful with this. These are the brake lines right here. I purchased the 6-inch extended brake line kit from Crown as well, which I'm going to install at the same time. And that's right here. It just, you unscrew this, and this whole line comes off with the caliper, the old one, and then you install the new one, and I'll show you how to connect everything as part of the install video. But again, I want to mention again, make sure you know how to bleed brakes. If you have air in your lines and you don't bleed the brakes properly, you can either hurt yourself or hurt somebody else. You don't want to mess with this. If you don't think this is something you can handle on your own in your garage, take it someplace, have them install it. All right, so I'm gonna move the ABS sensor line out of the way real quick. Give me a little bit more room. Once you break those loose, you can usually get them out by hand the rest of the way. Get them nice and loose though, then you can get them out with your hand. Back them out. Alright, I got one out. This one needs a couple more turns. So it's off. That's the caliper. I took it off with the bracket, caliper bracket. You can pull it off in one piece. It'll save you a little bit of time. That way you won't have to pull the caliper off the bracket. You got to take the caliper off anyway. The big brake kit comes with a new caliper bracket for the bigger caliper. So as part of the kit, you also get oversized rotors. So we're going to go home next. We're going to go ahead and get this rotor off. I gotta grab a screwdriver real quick. All right. One thing I want to mention too, while we're working on this, I got to get this ring off for my centering ring for the hub for the rims. This kit requires a 17-inch rim at a minimum. If you have a 16-inch rim, this big brake, you're probably not going to be able to clear the new calipers. I'm going to give the rotor a couple whacks. Get it off. It's going to be stubborn. Alright, the rotor is being stubborn. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stop the video. I'm going to get this rotor off, and then I'll start it back up once I get it off. These things, you know, they get rusted up. It happens. So I'm going to have to muscle this off, and we'll be right back. Okay, so I got the rotor off. It was being a little stubborn. This is the new rotor. One thing I want to mention, when you put the new rotor on, make sure your hands are clean. And if you do get any grease on the surface of the rotor, make sure you hit it with some brake cleaner and get it off. What you don't want to do, you know, these are expensive rotors. They're slotted, they're drilled. You don't want to mess them up. You don't want to cause any hard spots in them. What it does is, you know, with if you have grease on them, with the use of the brakes just from everyday driving, you'll actually get hard spots and it won't wear evenly. So again, make sure your hands are clean. My hands are actually a little bit dirty, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab it from the side and put it on. So but again, just, you know, make sure you don't get any grease, any dirt on the new caliper. And the new one just slides on like that. Alright, so now I'm going to go get the caliper bracket. That's next. Alright, I'm going to get a shot of the new caliper. That's the back side of the caliper. It's literally twice the size of the stock caliper. It's this should do a nice job braking. Alright, there's the caliper bracket. We'll go ahead and put that on. Alright, we're going to go ahead and torque down the caliper bracket bolts. Okay, so new rotor's on, caliper bracket's on, caliper is next. Actually, I take that back. Brake pads are next, then the caliper. And before I forget, I'm going to put this ring back on for the rims. It just helps center the rims on the hub. Okay. One thing I want to mention, the brake pad clips on this is a little different than what I'm used to seeing. So I just wanted to take a video of that. That's how they go. So you have the metal backing right here where my thumb's at, where I'm moving it back and forth. The clip, you know, this part of the clip goes out. That's the best way I could think of to describe it. But these clips are a little bit different. I've never seen this style before, but I'm sure it works fine, so we're going to roll with it. Of course, the pad's being a little stubborn. There it goes. Alright, that one's in. And again, I'll get another shot of that. Here's the backing plate, the back of the pad, and that way you can see how the clip goes on. It's just a little different. And the back pad, the brake pads just go in the slots like a normal caliper bracket on these. Alright, time for the caliper. These things are really beefy. And I'm just putting the caliper bolts in. Alright. The inner bolt's a 17 mil. And the outer, I don't remember. Nope, got it right the first time. This is a 13 mil. So I'm going to go ahead and snug those up. Tight. One thing I want to mention when you, I'm going to ramp up real quick. When you install the calipers, make sure the bleeder valve is up. Because if you can actually install these probably backwards. If you install the caliper with the bleeder valve on the bottom, you won't be able to bleed the brakes properly. You want, because as the hose droops down, it's going to go into here, so you want the bleeder valve above where the brake line connects to the caliper. So again, make sure that the bleeder valve, then this is the bleeder valve, it's got the little black cap on it, that's it right there. Make sure the bleeder valve is on top. So next I'm going to go ahead and get the new brake line on. So if you do this quickly, you won't lose a lot of brake fluid. So we want to have, this is the new one, we want to have the new one ready to go. Because when we disconnect it, you know, you're going to start losing brake fluid, and you want to get the new one connected right away. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get the ABS wire disconnected from this. I'm just trying to get the breather hose loose. There we go. And get the old brake line out of the way. Alright. Go ahead and we're going to snug up the new brake line. Alright, I think I have everything tightened up. So at this point, what I'm going to do is, first I am going to gravity bleed this caliper. And all that is, in case somebody doesn't know what that is, you just open up the bleeder valve and just let gravity, let the fluid flow. That's going to get quite a bit of air out of the line, and once I gravity bleed it, I'm going to pressure bleed it with pressure bleeding it is basically when you start the Jeep. You pump the brakes. When you pump the brakes, do not do it real hard or real fast. Just do it gradual, just smooth and steady. And then, I'm going to pressure bleed them. You basically just pump the brakes. You hold the brake pedal down, and you loosen the bleeder valve, and the fluid will come flying out, and then you close it up real quick. So again, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to gravity bleed the brakes. I'm going to pressure bleed the brakes, and then we'll be back. And in the meantime, kind of give you. These are actually really nice rotors. They're drilled and slotted. The caliper, it's like twice the size of the stock one. And this is the new brake kit. It's actually braided steel, but it's got a protective black sleeve over it. And this is the Crown extended brake line kit and the Crown big brake kit for the Jeep JK. Or JK. It's the same kit for both.